Hello and welcome back to the Eastwick Conference's film breakdown series, where today, in light of there not being a lot of great NBA games on last night, I am going to talk once again about Zion Williamson against the San Antonio Spurs. In this game, Zion had 20 points and 10 rebounds, shooting 10 of 18 from the field to deliver his team a much-needed win. But if you are a longtime listener, A, I deeply appreciate you, but B, you would know that I have already done a video this season on Zion against this team at the very start of the year, and an overtime loss, which you can find if you want to at aeastwick.substack.com. But in that game, I talked about some interesting early season trends with regards to Zion's usage more as an initiator than a play finisher, and how his efficiency was at the same time suffering. Now that we have a much larger sample, Zion's played in 32 games. We're over halfway through the season. I wanted to revisit some of these trends because they have reverted very much to the mean in a lot of ways. On a most basic level, he is shooting 57.9% from the field. That is his highest number since 2023. Early in the season, I talked about it. That number was under 50%, which would be by far a career low. But then zooming in a little bit, looking specifically at his finishing at the rim, he is taking 70% of his shots there, which once again is his highest since 2023. And when he gets there, he's hitting about 67% of his attempts, which is right in line with his career norms. Obviously, there have been a bunch of changes to this Pelicans team throughout the season, most notably a coaching change. When I made that video, Willie Green was the head coach. Now it's James Borrego. That has led to a change in usage for a lot of different players, but as it pertains to Zion in particular, he is being used more as the play finishing, rim attacking threat that he has always been in the league, and he, on a personal level, has benefited very greatly. Of those 18 shot attempts he took last night, only 3 of them came outside of the restricted area, and a lot of the makes, as we're going to see, came against the best rim protector in the sport. I'm going to start with some great dunks here, this one on the weak side of the pick and roll. And this is something that we actually saw in the first video, and it's also a highlight that's been all over social media all season. And that is when he's standing in the corner here, either on offensive rebound situations or here when the defense is just caught ball watching, Keldon Johnson doesn't stand a chance. Instead of just cutting along the baseline, he takes this longer route, making kind of a half circle so that he's in position without a box out, without a body in the way, to just attack the rim with his downhill pressure, and he's able to finish that play with a thunderous dunk. And then here in transition, he's still a real threat. Even if he's not the most peak Zion athletically, he is still capable of throwing it down in really impressive ways like that. Another way that he has always been able to get a lot of buckets is off of offensive rebounds, as I mentioned before. This time just corralling the air ball and finishing. But here, I want to point out that Victor Wembanyama is in real position to grab that ball until Zion just jumps up, snatches it out of his rebound area, and then is able to finish right over the contest from the best rim protector in the league. And that is a really clean segue into what really impressed me most from Zion in this game, and that was the willingness and determination to go at Victor Wembanyama at every available opportunity. He still has a real first step and some real burst getting to the rim, caught Victor slow-footed a couple of times and was able to blow right by him to get to the basket, that time for a dunk, and then here on that crossover for the layup. But in other situations where Wembanyama was able to body up, he has the touch to finish over the top of those contests, and then really what the rest of these clips are going to show is the real embodiment and weaponization of Zion's athleticism in a way that is more than just, I'm going to dunk the ball over your head, and that is being able to get behind the contest with his burst towards the rim. This time, he sets the screen. The Spurs are going to trap Trey Murphy up top. Zion catches it on the short roll, and Victor is rotating over to contest a shot in the paint. And so what Zion does, puts his shoulder down, bursts towards the rim, and by the time the ball is up and out of his hands, he is behind Wembanyama. So even though Wemby's hand is up, he is not able to contest this shot because Zion was A, able to put a shoulder in him, and B, able to burst towards the basket and get behind the rim protector. Here, Stephon Castle gets blown right by. Victor once again in position to contest this shot, but Zion just stretches his body out. He's already moving towards the basket so quickly, and the ball is out behind that contest once again. Here, he gets the ball on a handoff off of this first screen. Wembanyama is in position to corral whatever attempt comes his way. And so this low gather into the burst step, into that crossover little Euro step type thing, gets right by Wembanyama, and again is nullifying these contests by the best rim protector in the sport. Obviously, this Pelican season has not gone at all how the team envisioned it, considering the trade that they made at the start of the year. I've talked about that. Everybody's talked about that ad nauseum. But what has gone under the radar is that Zion Williamson, he's averaging 22 points per game, shooting just under 58% from the floor, is still one of the more effective offensive threats in the league when he is playing. And lo and behold, 32 games, he's on track to play like the second or third most games he's ever played in a season in his career. Hoping he stays healthy, that is never a given. But if you wanted a reason to watch Pelicans games other than their rookies, Derek Queen is awesome. He's hitting a little bit of a rookie wall. Trey Murphy is awesome. He had a pretty inefficient night last night, but that doesn't distract from the fact that he's really good. I think it's a little bit forgotten that Zion Williamson is an awesome basketball player, and he proved it last night on a stage where I don't think a lot of players would have had the success that he did. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This one's a little bit of a shorter, quick hitter, but we're back in business. We're going to keep it rolling all week and moving forward, obviously. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.